Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Urban Review. This is a show brought to you by the Office of National Drug Control Policy, along with the Center for Urban Youth and Family Development and the Coalition for Urban Youth and Family Development. Therefore, the thoughts and opinions expressed by us on this show are not necessarily the thoughts and the opinions of the Office of National Drug Control Policy or the White House. But we are pushing forward to try and create a drug-free community on Detroit's west side and to create a healthy and happy Detroit throughout all of Detroit. I'm going to start off today by mentioning some upcoming activities that we have taking place in the month of April and in the month of May. First of all, on April the 24th, that's next Saturday, April the 24th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., we will be conducting Prescription Drug Take Back Day. That is in collaboration with the Drug Enforcement Agency, the DEA, and we are having National Drug Control Prescription Drug Take Back Day in coalition and collaboration across the United States. And this year we're collaborating with the Love Detroit Prevention Coalition, as well as the Youth Connection, the Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network, the Detroit Police Department, and 313 Hope Detroit, in order to have a efficient prescription drug take-back day. In the past, we would normally have various drop-off sites throughout the entire city at various locations, and each one of those locations would have to be supported by our law enforcement officials. However, this year, because of COVID and because of the strains that are being placed on our police department, we've determined that the most efficient and effective way for them in the utilization of their total resources would be to only have 11 different drop-off locations across the city, and that 10 of those locations would be the various Detroit precinct locations. And so that's where you go and drop off your prescription drugs this year, and that will be at the various precinct locations of the Detroit Police Department. Of course, for us in the 48238 zip code area and the 48203 zip code area, that would be the 12th precinct, which is located at 1441 West 7 Mile here in Detroit. Once again, that's 1441 West 7 Mile. That's the location of the 12th precinct, and you can just enter the lobby. There will be a disposal container there, and you can drop off your expired prescription drugs. We do not want those items to be flushed down the toilet and getting into our sewage system and getting into our waterways. So we want you to focus on taking those prescription drugs to the various precincts. There are 8 different precincts that you can go to. The second precinct is located at 13530 Leisure. The third precinct is located at 2875 West Grand Boulevard. The fourth precinct is located at 4700 West 4th Street. The fifth precinct is located at 3500 Connor Street. The sixth precinct is located at 11450 Warwick. The seventh precinct is 3501 Cheyenne. The eighth precinct is 21555 West McNichols. The ninth precinct is 11187 Gratiot. The 10th precinct is 12,000 Livernois Street. The 11th precinct is 5100 Nevada Street. The 12th precinct again is 1441 West 7 Mile. And one last location that you can do your prescription drug drop-off at is at the Youth Connection, which is located on the Deep East Side, 4777 East Outer Drive. So you can go to any one of those locations on April the 24th. That's next Saturday between the hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and drop off your expired prescription drugs, and we will dispose of them appropriately in collaboration with the the National Drug Enforcement Agency and the Detroit Police Department. So thank you very much for participating in Prescription Drug Take Back Day. The next event that I want to make you aware of is on May the 8th, the Saturday before Mother's Day. That's Saturday, May the 8th, the Saturday before Mother's Day. We will be having Fun Day, and we're doing that in collaboration with the Hartford Memorial Baptist Church, and that's going to take place at Lugar Park, which is located right on the corner of 7 Mile and Stansbury, kitty corner from the Hartford Memorial Baptist Church, and we are imploring you to come on out. We're going to have all types of wonderful free food, free giveaways. We'll be distributing substance abuse prevention resource materials. We have some free gifts. We are going to collaborate with our friends in the Federal Bureau of Investigation. They're going to be out giving some safety information out. We're going to have some substance abuse prevention activities going on. We will be having our alcohol awareness glasses that you can put on the glasses, the goggles, and walk the obstacle course. And we're also going to have a go-kart that you can try and operate to get the physical feel of what it's like to be intoxicated and trying to operate a moving vehicle. And as I indicated, we're going to have free food and other free giveaways. There'll be some learning opportunities. It's going to take place outdoors at the park, at Lugar Park, and that will provide us the safety that we need from the standpoint of social distancing and all of the other protocols that we need to have in place for COVID-19. But please come on out. That is Saturday, May the 8th, between the hours of 12 and 4 p.m., and we're calling that Fun Day, and that's going to be the day before Mother's Day. So come on out and bring the children with you, and we can honor the mothers, we can honor the children, and we can provide some intense information, some important resource information that will help you and your families as we strive to create a drug-free community and address health care and community activism in Detroit. So thank you for that, and we are really looking forward to that. Another thing that you can do is mark your calendar for August 19th and 20th, which is going to be the Faith-Based Initiative Wellness Beyond the Walls Conference. And this year, we're going to be focusing on the voice of our youth. And so we're asking that all of the faith-based organizations and the churches across the city of Detroit register with the Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network, and you can just go online to the dwihn.org, and that will give you an opportunity to be able to register for Wellness Beyond the Walls. Please mark your calendars. That's August the 18th and 19th. And this year, the focus of the conference is going to be the voice of our youth. So please put that on your calendar, and we are looking forward to that wonderful event. We want to give a shout out today to Ms. Judy Davis of the Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network that has been appointed as the Substance Use Disorder Director. And she will be stepping into that wonderful position and providing her experience and her expertise and leadership. And we are looking forward to working with her as she presents us with all of the resources across Wayne County and helps guide us to working with the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services with the block grant to provide substance abuse prevention, treatment, and recovery across Wayne County. So we once again want to give a shout out to Ms. Judy Davis as the new director. This month is Alcohol Awareness Month, and wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about the environmental strategy that we are implementing here with the Coalition for Urban Youth and Family Development. We have been working with the Michigan Prevention Association and the Michigan Alcohol Policy Association to address the issue of extending alcohol sales to 4 a.m. Here in Michigan. And we believe that that will not be a good thing. So we wanted to make everyone aware that the vote did take place on March the 18th within the Michigan House of Representatives on House Bill number 4115, and it did pass 61 to 47. However, we want to note that the original vote was taken back in December of 2020, and at that time the vote was 77 to 27. So you can see that there were 10 legislators that chose to change their vote after our advocacy, after our ability to educate them on the impact, the negative impacts that that legislation would have regarding the health and safety of the public here in the state of Michigan. And our coalition this morning voted the following resolution: extending for alcohol sales to 4 a.m. won't be good for Michigan. Whereas, according to the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Hours of Sales Brief 2021 and research compiled by the Community Guide found that extending the sale of alcohol by 2 to 4 hours was associated with an increase in alcohol consumption, a range from 4% to 11% relative growth in motor vehicle crashes and injuries, a shift in timing of motor vehicle crashes corresponding to the change in closing time of alcohol outlets, and additional studies found an increase in emergency room admissions, injuries, violence, and suspected driving while intoxicated, as well as an increase in alcohol-related assault and injury. Whereas local opt-in will not be safer for communities because it can reasonably be expected that people from the region will travel to outlets that stay open until 4 a.m. and then be driving back to their residences about 5 a.m. or 5:30 a.m. Whereas local buses do not operate this early in the morning to get people safely home, nor is Uber or Lyft viable public transportation options to get people safely to their homes. Whereas in 2019, there were 9,787 crashes that involved alcohol in the state of Michigan, and a 4 to 11% increase would result in approximately 10,178 to 10,864 crashes. Whereas in 2019, there were 27 alcohol-related crashes per day, and a 4 to 11% increase will result in approximately 28 to 30 crashes per day and negatively impact families and communities. Be it therefore resolved that the Coalition for Urban Youth and Family Development believe that allowing 4 a.m. sales would not be in the best interest of the city of Detroit, the state of Michigan, its residents, nor in the best interest of the citizens of our great state. And that is the information. So therefore, let it be resolved that the Coalition for Urban Youth and Family Development is opposed to efforts to extend the sale of alcohol until 4 a.m. in Michigan. Furthermore, we believe this will be harmful to our residents and to the state of Michigan. Currently, as of March 2nd, 2021, the following organizations are also opposed to this possible policy change: the Michigan Alcohol Policy Promoting Health and Safety, the Michigan Allied Liquor Stores of Michigan, the Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police, the Michigan Association of Recovery Residences, the Michigan Council on Alcohol Problems, the Michigan Liquor Control Commission, the Michigan Sheriff's Association, and Unite to Face Addiction Michigan. So we also want to let you know that there is something that you as an individual, as a citizen here in Detroit, in Highland Park, in Wayne County, and in the state of Michigan can do. You can write a letter to your legislator. You can write a letter to the editors of the local newspapers and of the local publishers and let them know that the House recently passed legislation that would extend alcohol sales until 4 a.m. The vote was 61 to 47. Let them know that you're concerned about this issue and appreciate that all the lawmakers that voted against it, and that you appreciate them, and that it's unfortunate that 61 lawmakers put industry priorities ahead of public health and public safety. Let them know that overall expanding alcohol sales to 4 a.m. will not benefit Michigan. If it happens, Michigan can expect an increase in alcohol consumption, a relative increase in motor vehicle crashes, incurring injuries ranging from 11 to 4%, a shift in the timing of motor vehicle crashes corresponding to the change in the closing time of outlets, and additional studies have found an increase in emergency room admissions, injuries, violence, and suspected driving while intoxicated, as well as an increase in alcohol-related assault and injury. This information for your has been taken from Hours of Sales Brief 2021 and is based on rich research compiled by the Community Guide. And if you'd like to follow up on that, just go to www.communityguide.org and you can find more information on this situation. So please consider reaching out, advocating, contacting your legislator and letting them know how you feel about it. Educate them, let them know that it's not just about increasing revenue here in the state of Michigan, but that there are social costs associated with those increases that will have a major impact across not only our city, not only our county, but across the entire state of Michigan. Thank you very much. And we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back and talk a little bit just about the impact that the marijuana is having on our youth, on our community, and the fact that it is really having an impact as we live in an environment where the outlets for marijuana, dispensary outlets, are starting to really be densely populated here in our community. So stay tuned. And thank you for watching Urban Review.
Meet Danny, high school senior, 17 years of age, all A student. Danny is just now finding out he scored 1,490 out of 1,600 on his SAT. Danny's friend decided to ask, "How did you do it?" Danny replied, "I believe every day is a test. To fail or succeed, you choose." The effects of vaping is the one test that Danny chose not to study for.
Vaping does not discriminate on who becomes addicted. Over 2 million high school students use some type of electronic cigarette device. The top tobacco companies also own vaping devices. The FDA found that vaping contains some of the same toxic chemicals as regular cigarettes that lead to cancer. So whether you smoke traditional cigarettes with tobacco or smoke electronic cigarettes using nicotine, your health is at risk. There's no safe way to smoke. For more information, contact the Center for Urban Youth and Family Development.
You will love your Avis Ford, because at Avis Ford, we make it easy to get you your no money down monthly payment right over the phone. We call it Shop by Phone, and it's the best way we know to get you your payment options fast. You want leather and a sunroof? How about an upgrade to all-wheel drive? Just give us a call. Shop online, shop by phone, or visit us at Telegraph at 12 Mile. Call 1-800-SHOP-FORD.
The non-medical use of prescription drugs, including opioids, is a growing concern in our communities, affecting all ages, including our youth. If the medication wasn't prescribed to you or has expired, don't take it. If your name isn't on the bottle, it's not meant for you to swallow. Addiction is real, and lives are being ruined. Or worse yet, lost.
Visit PreventionDetroit.org/opioids to find prescription Dropbox locations.
Welcome back to Urban Review, ladies and gentlemen. And as I indicated before we took our commercial break, that we were going to just spend a little while this afternoon talking about marijuana. As you know, the marijuana has been legalized for medical use and also has been legalized for recreational use here in the state of Michigan. And we want to clarify that it is not available for anyone that is under the age of 21. However, we are determining, and studies are indicating, that there are individuals under the age of 21 that are using marijuana daily. we find that about 0.7% or a little less than 1% of 8th graders are using it daily, that 3.4% of our 10th graders here in Detroit are using it daily, and about 5.8 or 6%, nearly 6% of our 12th graders are using marijuana daily. Now, the question is, what is marijuana? Marijuana is a dried flower and leaves from the cannabis plant, and many people use marijuana to get high because of the tetrahydrocannabinol or THC content. It's also called weed, pot, and other stuff. And then there's also the fact that marijuana, many people think that it's safe or because that it's a plant, that it's natural. But many dangerous drugs like cocaine, heroin, and tobacco also come from plants that we like to call natural plants, just like marijuana. And in fact, there are hundreds of chemicals in marijuana, and some of those chemicals do harm your brain. We know that people smoke it. We know that people use it as edibles. We know that people have now started inhaling it through vaporized systems electronically. And we got to ask the question, well, how does marijuana work on you? Well, what it does is it affects the brain cells or the neutrons in the brain that control the body's ability to coordinate, not only the coordination of the body, but also the memory, the pleasure zones, and your ability to pass judgment. The short-term effects of it are loss of coordination and slow reaction. You have an altered sense of time. You start feeling extremely relaxed and in a state of euphoria. You also experience anxiety, fear, distrust, paranoia, or panic. And that mostly happens in some of the higher dosages. And then you find that there is increased hunger and a faster heart rate. The long-term effects include problems with your memory and your ability to learn. You have problems breathing. You have coughing and lung sickness. And you can have severe nausea and vomiting. Oftentimes, it is stated that you cannot become addicted to marijuana. That is not true. Over time, your body can become used to marijuana and you start feeling bad when you don't have it in your system. You might take it at a time just to feel normal and then keep taking it even if it gets in the way of work or schoolwork, your friendships and your relationships, and that is what you call addiction. Anyone who uses marijuana can become addicted to it, and it doesn't matter how smart you are, where you live, how much money you make, your socioeconomic status. There is no way to predict who is likely to become addicted to marijuana. But we did learn that using marijuana as a teen changes the way that your brain grows and develops. And your brain is growing and developing until you're about the age of 20 or 21. And that is why we want to point out that marijuana is not legal for anyone that is under the age of 21. But we find that another point that we want to make is that the marijuana that people are smoking today is not the marijuana that was being smoked 15, 20 years ago, and even 40 years ago during my college days. The THC levels back in those days was 1 to 2.5%, and now the THC levels are between 15 and 25%. When you use edibles, it's between 40 and 55%, and when you use the oils, you're talking about between 80 and 90% THC level based on your consumption versus the 1 to 2.5% 10, 15 years ago. We did some research about the local youth using it, and we looked at Isabella County, which is a county that has 71,282 residents. Of those 71,000 residents, there are 597, or just rounded up to 600 individuals that have medical marijuana cards. but we discovered that 8.3% of the ninth graders are using marijuana, and 12.5% of the 11th graders are using marijuana. Then we looked at a larger county, Macomb County. They have 63,000 residents, and there are 1,064 medical marijuana cards that have been distributed within that county. However, the ninth grade population surveys indicate that 12.3% of the ninth graders smoke marijuana on a regular basis, and 18.9% of the 11th graders use marijuana. And this data was gathered by the state of Michigan Licensing and Regulatory Agency and the Michigan MiFi Student Survey. We also discovered that living near a marijuana dispensary relates to a 4 to 6 fold increase in the past 30-day use among young people the ages of 18 to 22. So we are truly being impacted in our community when we are being surrounded by medical marijuana dispensaries and recreational marijuana outlets. 5 Southeast Michigan Trinity hospitals reported that they treated 14,846 patients for marijuana-related issues, and of those, 1,422, almost 10% of those, were young people under the age of 21. So it is having an impact on our young people. It's having an impact on our community, and we've got to understand that of the primary drug admissions that took place in Macomb County for individuals between the ages of 0 to 17 years in fiscal year 2017, 78% of those admissions for treatment was due to marijuana, and 10% was for alcohol, and 8% for heroin and opioids. And we've learned that weekly use by adolescents is associated with impaired learning, memory, impaired ability to do mathematics and reading, as well as failure to graduate from high school. And this is published in the Michigan Association for Public Health journal. The data is overwhelming that it's having an impact on us. We also learned from our Michigan State Police that the number of injuries has increased and the number of fatal crashes has increased. So as we wrap up, we just want to say that we know that this thing has an impact on our community. It has an impact on us. It's definitely having an impact on our youth, and we really need to let our policymakers know that we care. On that note, I'm going to wrap up, as I always do, remembering that we have to hang in there. We can't be a quitter. When you're up against some trouble, you meet it squarely face to face. You plant your feet, you set your shoulders, you lift your chin and take a brace. And when the worst is bound to happen in spite of all that you can do, you may fail, but you may conquer, so see it through. Black may be the clouds about you and your future may seem grim, but don't let your nerve desert you. Keep yourself in fighting trim. And if you fail to try and conquer in spite of all that you can do, remember, running from it will not save you. See it through. Even hope may seem but futile when with troubles you'll be set, but remember, you're simply facing what other men have met. If you fall still fighting. Don't give up. Whatever you do, keep your eyes to the front, your head high to the finish, and see it through. And as Nelson Mandela said to himself, each day for the 27 years that he was in captivity, out of the night that comforts me, out of the night that covers me, black as a pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods there be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud, and under the bludgeoning of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. For it matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll, I am the captain of my fate and the master of my soul. Thank you for watching Urban Review.